Hey YouTube, this is Sever7 and today we are taking a deeper look at the Kansept Echis, and that's with the ultimate goal of finding out if this is worth adding to your collection or your daily carry rotation. Now I've spent the last day and a half, 2 days with the Echis, getting a feel for it, cutting boxes, paper, the usual stuff, and yeah, let's jump right into it. So for starters, we're rocking an S35 VN blade. So what that means is we've got average edge retention, average toughness, average ease of sharpening, and we've got some better than average corrosion resistance. So overall, it's a pretty it's a pretty well-rounded steel. It isn't doing anything fancy, but it also doesn't really suck at anything. As far as the ergonomics and the carry, so at first I thought this knife, I started using it, I thought it was going to be uncomfortable, right? Like right when I put it in hand, it wasn't bad. Whenever we did the overview, after carrying it for about half a day, I was like, ugh, this thing, it's got like kind of a hot spot. I don't know if I like it. Okay, here's what I learned. Typically, whenever I carry a knife, I put right where my fingers and my hand connect, right here. And then I enclose my fingers, and then I enclose my fist. And normally that works out fine for me. In this case though, this pocket clip, major hot spot, and that sucks. What I learned though was if you're not a psychopath like me, and you just grab the knife to do your box cutting, paper cutting, and stuff like that, there really isn't a hot spot. It's way more comfortable. So after I swapped to this grip, it just life got a million times better for me. So I would recommend doing that. Just, obviously, you can grip a knife like this and fist it up, but unless you're doing like hard use stuff, like even cutting boxes, whenever I just loosen my grip up a little bit, even cutting boxes like this was fine. I didn't really have any issues with it. Now, as far as the carry profile, this knife doesn't take up a ton of room. It slid in and out of the pocket one-handed pretty easy, so I could just one-hand it in, one-hand it out. Didn't have any issues with that. It wasn't cumbersome. I certainly wouldn't wear it in sweatpants, right, or shorts, but definitely in a pair of jeans or khakis. I mean, it was fine. It certainly wasn't bugging me to any extent or anything like that, so you'll be fine. As far as the action on this knife is good. As I proceed to give just the limpest flick outward. We have good snappy action. We've got different modes of activation. So we've got, wow, there we go. We've got the flipper, we've got the front flipper, we've got the money shot with that reverse flick. Thumb flick works great. So this is a fidgety knife, right? This is super fidgety, and the action is really satisfying. The acoustics are satisfying. Fidget factor, I'd probably give this thing a 8 out of 10. Now, one other thing that I wanted to test out was how long could I fidget it before I got sore? Because there's some knives that you fidget with, but then after like flip 10, you're like, my wrist, and that sucks. So I got to 50 consecutive flips, just rotating between them, and I still didn't feel sore. See, that's one reason I don't like these rounded ones. These like, like steering wheel front flippers, is because you get up there and like it encourages you to slow roll it. Whereas if you just have like a horn, you can just pop it over. You can still pop this one over, but I clearly have some special needs that make it better for me to have a unicorn horn. But yeah, so I mean, 50 flips, And even then, I could have kept flipping. Like, this thing has plenty of fidget factor. You know, the things that this knife does well, other than what we've talked about, is with this blade shape, it's got a long belly, right? So you're going to be able to dig into something and just slice all the way through it, right? It's got a very utilitarian shape. The other thing is you still have this point that's going straight out, right? So whenever you're poking into boxes, defending your Slurpees, you know, whenever you're doing things that require slicey and pokey, you're going to get that here. Not only that, but if you look at the blade stock thickness, this is robust even up into the tip, which means it's slicey enough to cut, but robust enough to reliably be able to poke into things, right? So I think that's a huge win for this knife, in addition to the acoustics and the action. Now, one thing that, well, two gripes. One, non-reversible pocket clip. But two, because of the way this blade is angled, what would happen is whenever I would go to push in to cut a box, the box would follow the angle and I would end up halfway down the box sliding out of it. So I would go and I would cut, and then I would find myself, like if I wasn't paying attention, preemptively out of the box, right? So what I would have to do is I would have to make a conscious effort to dig into the box, and then as I'm slicing, kind of push my hand back inwards a little bit, which wasn't terribly difficult. It wasn't, you know, really hard to do, but it was kind of annoying. Now, if it was a short box or a smaller box that I could get through without this ramp coming into play, you guys see what I'm talking about whenever I say ramp, without this ramp coming into play, then it was great. Absolutely fantastic. Just slice. But if it was one of those bigger, longer boxes, then yeah, about halfway through the box, I would find myself steering out of it. And then you have to re-index yourself. You have to put the blade back in. You have to kind of start from scratch. And while it's not hard, you're adding like 17 unnecessary damn seconds to the box cutting process. And there's just no need for that. That's really just a little gripe, though. Overall, I would say, you know, if you're looking for something, you know, that looks different, right? That isn't your everyday EDC, as far as like, you know, ergonomics and shape. If you're looking for something that's got, you know, multiple forms of deployment, you know, maybe you're a fidgeter and ADD, and you just need to have all the deployment, you know, and you just want something that's going to be a solid utilitarian performer, then yeah, I can absolutely recommend this knife. It's got versatility, it's got fidgetability, and as long as you're not a lefty, okay, that's if I ride the clip. Let's see if I put pressure on the lock bar. Oh, even with some pressure on the lock bar. Okay. So, and I'm not good at this, like, at all. So a lefty would, oh no. Okay, no, if you're lefty, I'd skip it. Your money is better spent elsewhere. Now, normally this knife runs in, you know, around, you know, 190 to 200 bucks. I'm gonna leave a link in the description for Chicago Knife Works. And it's going to have this model for, I want to say right around like 156, 157. That way you can get some savings on it. Now, for that price point, yeah, absolutely, it's worth it. I mean, CPMS 35VN, titanium frame lock, you know, name brand, right? Kansept, yeah, absolutely, all day long. For that much money, 100%. It starts getting questionable around 200, but 156, easy money. Would I carry this? Yeah, absolutely. I carried it, and I would continue carrying it. This isn't mine. This did come from the Lefty Pass-Around group, so I will get it back to them. But if this was mine, yeah, it would definitely, at least for a little while, make it into my EDC rotation. So I recommend it. Good knife. Outside of that, though, Let me know down in the comments. What do you think? Is this going to earn a spot in your collection? Is this something you would add to your rotation? Would you everyday carry this? Just drop a comment down below and let me know. Otherwise, if you want more knife reviews like this, please subscribe. And if you like what you saw or what you heard, or you just want to, hit that like button. And this knife, as well as my socials, are going to be down in the description. Please follow me at Instagram. That's SEVR SEVN Sever 7. All right, thank you so much, guys. Appreciate you. Have an amazing rest of your day. And until the next time, stay sharp.